our dough, chaps. We've done our dough.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Odds, episode 47 this week. So, what happened last week? Racing was one of the worst weeks in recent memory. It was around $16 back out of the 50. I didn't really collect anything. I'll bring up the bet sheet that we had, and it was just pretty sparse all over. Lots of bets. Didn't have any bonus bets to play with, but still lots of bets all over. And yeah, just Eagle Farm was a real desert of results for me. Bo Rumble, bit of a place getter. Sweet Pretender was a good place getter, but it got crunched in late, so some people latched onto that it was going to be a good second or third option. Philia was a good winner, the only winner, and Watch Me Win, the one where it was just like, we've seen enough. It's had that one run behind a good horse. That's it. And apart from that, it was just very bleak. A couple of Quinellas that were close, first and third in the winner's edge race. Didn't have winner's edge for the place either. In the Dalrello race, we were sort of close with the Quinella, but not much overall. So $16 back. Probably the thing I was a lot happier about was the sport, just to win and to get back into the black in sport. So Georgiades kicked a goal late. Apparently there's a pocket there that he loves, and he snaps this ball and gets this goal to get us over the line, and then misses something from direct in front later on if we had relied on that. So he was great for those two goals. He got one early. I thought he would get the second in quick succession. Didn't, had to wait till late in the game. Pout Pepper only got one, but he got it early. That was great. And then Butters and Rosie reached their disposal marks in the last quarter, and it looked pretty safe. So that was only odds of 220, but it was a great win. So both columns are in the green now, which I love to see. So let's just have a look at these overall returns. So for the week, episode 46, minus $33 on racing, plus $24 on sport. Overall $9, and that's minus 13%. After all of our episodes, after 46 episodes, we are up $196 in cash in racing, 8.5%. And on sport, we are up $14, around about 2%. So overall, it's about 7% up. If we compare that to the ASX, which is booming and back, they're back to 3%. So we've got 4% on the market, and I know that they're going to come with a bit of a vengeance. So things need to hold steady this week. So it's election day. Initially, this was a sort of a 50-50 a while ago, but no, it looks like Labor are going to win. So I should have devoted some time and money to betting on that, but not to be. Teto Show in Japan, Kentucky Derby in the US. These were all options where I could have done a bit of extra form or done a Sunday show. So for next time, we'll try and expand and do a bit more international racing and look to the things ahead. But at the moment, it's just business as usual, looking at Australia, looking at the stuff we know, and trying to make a profit. So just want to do a quick little segue. My favourite horse, the Happy Fat Cat, ran again on Wednesday night, and he was coming off recent good runs, second at 20-1. I think there was a close-up fourth in there. Then he won at 12-1 before that. And he was $15. Well, actually, he was $10 in the TME markets and $10 in the sports bet markets. And it got to race time, and he was holding steady at the 10, holding steady at the 10. He was jumping from an outside barrier, which for a leader isn't great, but he always pings the lids. He's a fast reactor. And it might actually be better, because if you're a leader, you're jumping from wide, and you know that you're actually going to always jump well, you can come across and cover everything. Whereas if you're coming up from barrier one, it seems great, but you have no control over the horses that come and sit and pressure you. So he could effectively dictate and choose his own adventure, and he did. He crossed before the turn. He stacked them up, and he's a tough horse to run down. He's just really laser focused on getting that lead, and he says, come at me, I'm going to set this up, you've got to do the work, and nothing could. And when the odds came up, he paid 15. So he held 10 the whole time right up to jump, and then all of a sudden it was 15. So I was on another great win. That was his 9th win in his career. His career prize running was 1.6 million before that. I want to be on in a big way when he wins in the future, so I've got to up my stake on the Fat Cat. So that was one thing. And then the other thing I want to show is that on the screen now, it was the Warrnambool Carnival during the week, which this year I bypassed. I just had no time, but normally it's a great betting option. The tracks are heavy, a lot of local horses, a lot of local horses that only like Warrnambool and really revel there. So it wasn't as wet as it can get. It wasn't heavy 9 all the time, But even still, it's always opportunity for results. So there was a race, I think this was on the Wednesday. Oh, it was because it was the same day as the Fat Cat. It was, I've got to bring this up. This is just too much. So it was race 8. It was a small field, only, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 horses. Favourite was Ocean Beyond, paying $2.50. Now, I've seen this horse run before. I'm pretty sure it ran on a Melbourne Cup day about 5 years ago. It was about 10-1. I backed it. It sort of ran maybe 3rd or 4th. And it's just one of those thereabouts horses that doesn't really win very often, but, you know, bobs up in decentish races like it did on a Cup day. So it's bobbed up here in this race. I think it was the race before the Cup. And it's up against some decent horses like Bermudez used to be good, Magnus Spins, capable. The others not so much, but $2.50. Now, this is a soft 7. This is almost a heavy track. And if we look at the vitals for this horse, this is really wild. This is really, really wild. And I rarely see anything like this. So good, 30 starts, 4 wins, 4 placings. You can tell that it can handle a good track, but doesn't necessarily win very often. Soft, 7 starts for 1 placing. 1, and it's never had any heavy starts either. So what is this horse doing? Going to Warrnambool. It's totally fine to go to Warrnambool, but what is the market doing to back this thing into $2.50? Out of Ocean Park, out of Frankly, that's nice, but the recent form, 5th, 3rd, 7th, 9th, 4th, some of those runs were in decentish races, like one was a Group 3, one was an Open, but it's still not really coming anywhere. And maybe, yes, it's down in grade, maybe, yes, there's a weight swing, it has got a claim, 52.5, but can't run on a soft track. And then you compare it to something else in this race. And now this is an 8-year-old horse resuming with a 7 starts for 2 wins first up record. So it can run well first up. 11 starts on good for 2 placings. 19 on soft for 7 wins and 3 placings. This thing loves a wet track. And then 13 starts on heavy for 6 wins and 2 placings. We're talking a 30% and then a 50% winning strike rate on wet tracks. And distance, 3 starts for a win. And Ocean Beyond, 9 starts at the distance for 1 placing. And this other horse, this phenomenal wet tracker, started at 20-1-1, and Ocean Beyond's run at 250 and come nowhere. So what is going on? If someone can drop in the comments like what has actually happened there and why the market's gone crazy, whether it's the trainer's last day as a trainer and everyone's jumped on board, or he's the mayor of Warrnambool and everyone wants to jump on board, or it was some jockey's final ride ever. I saw that once with Greg Childs. That does happen where people back things in. So if someone can just give me a clue, because that was a great bet, a great money-making opportunity, and I missed it. So anyway, thoughts for next time. But let's get into today. I'm bypassing Caulfield. I just think it's a bit of a filler sort of meeting. The main action's in Hawkesbury and Eagle Farm and Morphettville. So we will do a bit of each. And then I'll just start off with Rapa. There was a race there that I liked, a listed race on today's card. Pretty open. So 14 runners, favourites Lady Iris. Towering Visions had 2 runs, both for a third. It's drawn well today. I think that there's value there. It was paying, I think it was like 19 last night. It was 14 this morning. So that one's interesting. Toretto, Dom Toretto, Fast and Furious, great name for a horse. That is second up. That had good form in its first prep. It was around the mark in listed and group races. It won a trial, then it ran 7th in a listed. I'll forgive that. I think that's got a lot of upside as well. So each way on Toretto and Towering Vision as outsiders, and then a Quinella for 2, 4, which is those 2, and then 10 Lady Iris, and then 12 Mazzino. That's also in the market of looms as a really big hope. So want to back in that race at Rapa, and then I want to get straight into Morphettville, where we've got the Derby today. So race 1, really, really weak race. There's a favourite called Beach Pad, and a lot of these horses, the form's up and down. There's just a lightly raced horse, number 10, called Party Crasher. It's paying $2.80. It jumps up to this distance for the first time, but it's had a first and a second. I just want to be on that with a bonus bet back. I think it's a good deal, and I don't want to look too much into the others. I think it's just a BM 66 2,000 metre race where we'll just back a favourite that's got a bit of decent form. No questions asked. Race 2, 1,000 metres, 64 grade. Same deal here, actually. Albertville has won 2 races really easily. I think that last one, it was eased up at the end. Second fix came out, but the jockey wasn't even riding Albertville. So I'll do that for the win. And then there is one here, but I want to have something on in a trifectory sort of way. If this thing did lose, if Albertville went back and just couldn't reel them in for some reason, Santastico number 2, who probably will lead and who is first up and has run well first up before, may win, get a good run and pay $10. So trifectas, I want to do Santastico into field into Albertville and Santastico into Albertville into field. So that will be the wake. Then race 3, sort of forgettable race, pretty open. Lovely Looking is a second favourite at $4. Savagery Vibe is their favourite at $2.40. Lovely Looking just looked a bit tired in the recent runs. I know it's first up today and all things reset, but I thought it was a bit short, and same for Savagery Vibe. So Mazovia down the order paying 14. I thought was pretty capable, and Truly Elsa number 5. It's had 2 wins in its last 4 runs. It's paying 18. Could be a bit of a frequentish winner sort of horse. 18 in this field is pretty good. So I'll do each way on those 2, and I'll do a Quinella box Quinella for 4 Invitational. That's also paying A11. 18 for Truly Elsa. Miss Looney, pretty capable as well, paying 16, and Mazombi is paying 14. So I'll do all those outsiders and box those up. Then, race 4, 1,600 metres, Adelaide and Orton final. I think this was a skip. Yep, just too open, too hard, a lot of competing form lines. Then we'll go race 5, 1,800 metres. Don't want to bet here either, just want to make a note that the favourite, Fine Future, it's drawn wide. It doesn't win that often. It's paying $2.70. It's top weight. I think that's risky, so I wouldn't put a lot on that, and I'd just bypass the race. Race 6, Port Adelaide Cup. So a few better horses, and horses that I know and acquainted with here. Basilina doesn't win too often, but likes a big track. So it's only 2 from 17. So 310's a bit short in that case, but it's been running against really good horses at Flemington and the like, and now it drops down to 2,000 metre horses in Adelaide who have not even seen that sort of grade. So Silent Sorrente is the obvious threat, number 1 out of Fiorente. Won well over the Melbourne Cup distance at Morphettville, and that's run 9th at Flemington. I'll do a win bets on both and bonus bet back on Basilina. It just makes sense. And then I'll just do a straight out Quinella for 1 and 2. Keep it simple. Race 7. This is a good race. This is the Adelaide Guineas, 1,600 metres. Harumph, interesting name. Looked really tough winning last time. Question mark over jumping up in grade from the 64, but yeah, it did look really tough and strong. Big horse, really big horse the way that it won. So it's going to have to cross from 9. Somewhere, number 1. This made really good ground in a listed race at Bendigo. Actually, no. That's where it ran 5th. Made really good ground behind Snitz and over at Caulfield. So this is the 2 runs back. It sat about 6th and wove through the field at the end, and it was really making up ground at Snitz and over, which is a good sign. Bendigo looked a little bit flat, but it was first up, can forgive. So that is interesting. Barry 1 may not suit it, but I feel like a bit of a class edge there. On display, made up a stack of ground. I was on it last time. It was about 30-1. It just missed a placing behind Salotti's. And it's a bit of a non-winner though. 7 starts for only 1 win. So it's favourite today. I'm going to stay away. There's a few things here that could surprise. Sneaky Sunrise is capable. Estonay has won twice coming from back in the field, rounding up big fields. Could be just a horse that goes around its silly odds again at 12s and wins. So it's not saying a lot for on display at the 3. But yeah, I'll do each way on somewhere, and then I'll do as a bit of a wild card, I'll do a trifecta where I'll assume Harumph leads and is tough to hold, is tough to run down. And then a lot of these horses are run on, and the Wirrallah Boy is also on pace. So if that also went to the front from barrier 3, and if that got a good run, and trademark Byron Cosmanis, who I think is very good. So if those 2 could run top 3 with the Wirrallah Boy at 50s and then Field to Rove, that might be interesting. So I'll do that as a trifecta. And then that's all for that race. And then race 8, the Derby, 2,500 metres. Gold Rush Guru was good without being amazing last time. He might be better set for this. Statuario looked really good. Apparently in that race it was quite sit sprint, so it got things the way that it wanted and then it dominated in the straight. Probably won't get the same deal here. These are usually, from memory, these races horses go a lot earlier and it's a real stamina contest, so it might not suit Statuario. Roctave, New Zealander, didn't lose by much to Kiwi Skyhawk last time, Group 3. I think that's a lot better than the $26 indicates. Cavity Bay, I've underestimated this horse time and time again, and it keeps on running well. So it ran 5th in the Group 3, only 2.5 lengths off, came from well back in the field. And then behind Benagil, 4th in the Group 1 at 40-1. So I feel like that's actually going to continue, and the 20s is quite tempting. So it'll go straight back, and depending how this stamina contest plays out, will run quite well. And then the most interesting horse is number 18, Global Eclipse. This is coming off a 6th-length maiden win over 2,000, and then it's jumping straight into this Group 1 Derby. And it couldn't have looked more impressive last time winning at Cranbourne. So I think that's going to go to the lead and be quite tough to run down. So Global Eclipse for the win in each way. Rock Tith at those $26 odds each way. Cavity Bay, just a little sort of 50 cents for the win, $1 the place, just as a throwaway. And then a big Quinella for 125. That's Gold Rush Guru, Statuario, Saint and Melion, because last time I backed it, it ran a very close 4th and it might just on a dry track continue on. So 125, 10 Rocktiv, 14 Cavity Bay, 18 Global Eclipse. That's the Quinella, and we'll do a roving bank of trifecta where it's Rocktiv and Global Eclipse running top 3. Bit of a blowout scenario, which often happens in Adelaide in the derbies, and then all those other horses to rove. So that's what we will do. And then we'll flick over to Eagle Farm. So here we're going to have race 1. This was pretty tricky. I'm just going to go with one of the favourites. It was the favourite last night. Now it's in equal favourite, but Voracious, number 6. It's paying $4.80. It's a tricky race. I'm just going for the bonus bets back. That was a horse that jumped out with good recent form. It started the prep with 2 wins. Then it's in a 9th and a 2nd. I feel like it'll continue on the up and up. That's race 1. Race 2, I decided here it was between just the favourite Floozy at $1.60 and then Hermanita at 9s, which is a bit over the odds, but I just stuck with the favourite. Again, tricky race. I'm just going to keep it real simple this week. When there's not a lot of time, just keep it really, really simple. So Floozy for the win. Race 3, again tricky. I just thought there was value in Shot of Whiskey and Starry Eyes, number 11 and number 12, both first up. Shot of Whiskey's 4 starts first up for 2 wins. Starry Eyes 4 starts first up for 2 placings, but I feel like there's a bit of value there. Sergio number 9 is the favourite at $3.10, but just each way on those 2, and I'll do a roving bank of trifecta for those 2 to rove, and then everything else the field to place. So that's race 3. Race 4 and 5, 2 tricky, 2 open, so skip both. Race 6, the Dalrello Stakes, 1,000 metres listed. Una is Pirata, that's paying 19. That has had 1 run, it won really well. It booted clear by 3 lengths. I only know that because I watched a replay last week where I was actually looking at the horse that ran second, but I noticed obviously the winner and thought, oh, well, that's good, I'll remember that. So that was impressive. And then the Bear after the TV show, won a maiden really well by 2 lengths. Then it was chucked straight into Group 3 where just sort of battled, but I mean, that's a big jump in grade and it was not disgraced in any way behind Icarian Dream. So I feel like the Bear's got a lot to offer, and it ran second in a 4-horse trial. It's out of Vancouver, so well named, the Canadian Bear. So each way on the Bear and Una is Pirata. And then I want to do, actually no, I don't want to do, I thought I had a Quinella lined up, don't want to do it. So just each way on those. It's a tricky race. Bonus bets back, obviously there too. Race 7. So what do we want to do here? Shangri-La Spring was really good, winning and dominating in Sydney, beating Firm Agreement. That was also the race. Swift Falcon went down at like $2 odds. So Shangri-La Spring, Gay Waterhouse, Adrian Bott, that's just going to roll forward from barrier 11. Wonder Boy won at Bendigo, but I feel like it was a really trying sort of labouring win, and I just don't think... I was really bullish about this horse for a long time, but I just can't get enthused. I think it's going to take a lot of circumstances to align for this horse to win, and that may not always happen. So I think the 460 is a bit of a no. Boomtown Bosses look good. Depth of Characters back in form. Tardelli from New Zealand at 18, I think is value. And yeah, it's pretty open otherwise. So I'll just do Shangri-La Spring $1 for the win, 50 cents each way, Tardelli. I won't even go exotics. That's all for Eagle Farm. The Victory Stakes is after that, but Rothfire Golden Mile, very interesting race, but I can't really see anything I want to back. But definitely watch a little bit evenly matched horses, up and down form lines. A lot of, they've run in a Group 3 and run well, run in a Group 1, run nowhere. Hard to know. Golden Mile used to be really good and is at $23 is really tempting. Same with Rothfire, paying 18, former top liner. But yeah, we'll move on from Eagle Farm and go straight to Hawkesbury. And we'll kick off Hawkesbury. We'll skip the first two races. Race 3, just want to have something each way on these two first starters. Hereward, paying 40 and 6 for the place. And Irish Sinner, currently 201 on fixed and 24 for the place. And it's paying 54 on the tote and 13. So yeah, the trials weren't too bad. I think these races are always pretty open, even though the favourite's $1.70. I want to disregard that and just have something each way on those two. And then we'll skip races 4 and 5. They're also tricky. Race 6, the Hawkesbury Guineas. So this is a really good race. Pisces is getting up to its right distance range. That's paying 20. Stitzenova did a bit of a flop in the Magic Millions, but that can be forgiven every day of the week. That's paying 8. Zaytun, 3 starts in, ready to rock and roll now. It's a heavy track at Hawkesbury, and Zaytun can definitely handle it. So I've always been interested in this horse and feel like it's got a lot to offer. French Ruler, for some reason, sticks out, so I'll put that in Quinellas. Alabama State doesn't really love wet, but it's been running quite well in these listed races in Sydney, so I'll keep an eye on that. Love Poem coming across from New Zealand. This is a bona fide wet tracker. It's had a trial win. It's come here. I think it means the business. It's a good name. It's also out of something. Oh, no, that's something I'm getting mixed up. It's not Love Poem, but good name anyway. And then, yeah, there's some favourites down the order. Candle Week performance been great. Modella's under $10. So I am just going to do Zaytun each way, Alabama State for the place, Love Poem each way, but more for the place than for the win. And then a box Quinella for 2, 5, 7, 11, 12, 13. And that's all I'm going to do because I have run out of money. But I would say that Hawkesbury, the following race, race 7, Coco Jambu, hasn't done a lot lately, but it's had 1 run here for 1 win, and it likes Hawkesbury. So have something on Coco Jambu. With any bonus bets that I've got, I'll be having something on it during the day. But yeah, Coco Jambu, don't forget that. And then race 8's the Gold Cup. Yeah, I didn't even get there. The money has run out. So that's racing done. And then sport-wise, Adelaide, Carlton going today stands out. I've done Collingwood a lot lately and haven't delivered, but Adelaide have been good for me, and I feel like it'll be a high-scoring game over in Adelaide. So I just want to do Ben Keys for a goal. I feel like he plays well against Carlton. Jesse Motlop's a bit of a risk. He's only kicked goals in 2 of his last 5, and he's paying $1.40. So it doesn't really, if you're a 40% strike rate goal kicker, it's $1.40. Sports bet, the odds are not really weighing up, but I feel like he might, in that as a small forward, do it. And then Fogarty, first game back, 2+ goals is $1.57. So $20 on that. And if we miss a leg, we get a bonus bet back. And by golly, we need those bonus bets. So that is everything. Really, really good. As mentioned, Kentucky Derby election, AFL, great week of betting. And yeah, good luck and enjoy the good weather.
And then came Sweet Liaison as they turned for home. Jefferson, he's been in front every inch of the way. He's out wide too.